Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CornHub 188 at Iowa Speedway. This is the second race of Season 2 for the Player Advancement League's racing season. And Matthew Magic Heel, your defending champion, has put that number 53 on pole. And here in a second, we'll hear from him. Notable things to take a look at that leaderboard. Second position, Chris Worrell making his PAL debut. We thought he had the pole. Douglas Henry with a fast time. All three of those drivers separated by 100th. Aiden Gould in fourth. Nolan Crane returns, senses the Baby Car 225 venture in fifth. Jameek Smith, another newcomer to Player Advancement League, is in sixth. Let's go ahead and dial up your pole sitter, Mr. Magic Matthew Heel. Matthew, this is no up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, you waited to be the last one to go out in qualifying, and in Magic Matthew Heel style, puts that thing on pole. The times were close. Tell us, do you think you have the speed to whip one on them today? How do you feel about this season?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good. The Chef Colin Maybe Big Money Mobile is super fast today, apparently. I'm not usually one for qualifying up front, so happy to get the pole position here, and just, you know, it's got to be smooth race, smooth pit stops, and hope to be there at the end.
Tell us about this season. You come off of a championship. Going into season 2, do you feel added pressure? Do you think maybe your competitors drive you or race you a little bit differently? Kind of explain what it's like from the mentality of a winner.
You know, being the season champion in season 1, you have high expectations going into season 2. So, you know, I want to stay out front. I want to win races. There's a lot of new faces that are pretty darn good here that are going to give me a good run for my money. Jake Felicia, you know, Nolan Crane, Douglas Henry, all those guys are super fast, and I expect them to battle with me every part of the way. But like I said, high expectations, hoping we can bring home a win tonight and start that journey towards the championship again in season 2.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Matthew. Matthew Heel starting on pole. And then we talked about Chris Worrell there in second. Douglas Henry third. He's been practicing a lot leading up into this race. Expect to see him with some speed and maybe come out here and win this thing. Aiden Gould, Nolan Crane, Jameek Smith, Aaron Warren, Daniel Honeycutt, Jacob Pettit, Gary Smith make up the top 10. And you guys already know what time it is. It is time for your Go Time music. Ladies and gentlemen, the second race of Player Advancement League. Michigan was a banger. We saw Jacob Alicia start strong. Now is it Matthew Heel's time to shine. 188 laps at Iowa Speedway, and as the pace truck goes to dive off into pit road, Matthew Heel in command through the tri-oval, and Player Advancement League's second season, second race of iRacing is underway. And as one lap goes by, Matthew Heel is your leader. He's going to hold on to it. Meanwhile, Chris Worrell, they're in a sixth. Gary Smoke is exiting pit road at the very moment. I think he might have had to start from the pits, could have missed the grid. Here's Chris Worrell trying to hold off Douglas Henry and a dominant figure from last race, Aiden Gould, and that 51 machine. They're in fourth. Look just behind him, Jameek Smith in that 10 car making his first Player Advancement League start. Is trying to hold off what is Aaron Warren, 8 car Nolan Crane into the wall. Now getting passed by Daniel Honeycutt as they go into turns 3 and 4. Pair of brothers of Aaron Warren and Chris Warren battling out for 8th place. Jacob Alicia there in 10th. And we have a race, ladies and gentlemen. Back towards the back. Raymond, remember Charles Baker? We think Raymond might have had an incident. We'll check the replay. He has fallen off the pace. I don't think that's where he was, but we can check the replay real quick. There's 00 sideways in front of teammate Gary Smoke. He is going to hang on to it. Locks it down, keeps it going. We do stay green, and he doesn't fall too far off the pace, just towards the back of the field. Here we go, battle for ninth, the 42 of Jacob Pettit, my co-admin here in PAL. Wasn't able to have a full-time season in Season 1 of PALracing, but he believes he could show up to every race after missing Michigan. All of our drivers get one drop week, so they're able to kind of still be in contention for the championship. Right now, he's trying to run down Mr. Aaron Warren. Aaron Warren currently having a really good run this season. Last season, we saw him taper off towards the back half of the top 15, just kind of struggling to find speed. He's been putting a lot of practice in, and here he is running in ninth, strong showing in Iowa in that Texas Pete machine. We'll keep an eye on him. He's from Niner 70 Racing for those guys out there in the field. And Jacob Pettit now looks to the inside, able to complete the pass. Something that we did notice when doing a lot of practice laps, me included, if you can hold that outside line and the driver below you can't get a really good rolling speed through the corner, it's hard to get past, really, as long as you don't make a mistake. Rolling that outside is very, very advantageous to be able to defend your position. And I think because of that, we've seen Chris Worrell kind of stuck on the bottom of the racetrack. He's still trying to roll that bottom. Cars are flying by him. Now behind him is the one car. That is not for position. We know Gary Smoke started on pit road, so he is one lap down. But 12th right now, Joe Houston making his return in that 3 Wrangler car. We might have just had an incident. We need to check on Samuel Lang. We have an incident report out of Samuel. Not quite sure what it was for, but he dropped some positions. Let's check a replay, see if we can see anything. There he is battling Ethan Walker, Andrew Goodhart. Oh, Ethan Walker might have just gotten to the back bumper as Samuel Lang. He hangs onto it. So there's Matthew Heel. There's Douglas Henry. That is your gap. Douglas Henry got 1 win last year. That win came at none other than Dover. And now that we have Dover on the schedule, as well as Bristol and Martinsville, do we consider Douglas Henry a short track king? Is that a style of track he's comfortable with, dominant at? We'll have to see, and we'll have to keep notes on him. But at Iowa, even though it is a trioval, still the short track, and hopefully playing into his favor, as he is now within 8/10 of Matthew Heel. The next short track won't be until race 6 at Dover. Following this week, we have Charlotte, Pocono, then Watkins and Glen. But still some opportunity for him to score good points. He's always running good. Finds his way into the top 10. And now he is running down your defending champion, Mr. Matthew Heel. He always manages to have himself some solid top 10 finishes. We have a caution, and I believe Charles Agbeer is around. He's actually going to hit a DC quickly before Douglas Henry gets to him. Let's take a look at the replay. Here's Charles Agbeer, 96 machine. Through 1 and 2, shallow entry. Oh, just loose in the corner. Michael Brooks stays off of him. Josiah Klodgo dives to the bottom. Ooh, that might have been a little closer out of Douglas Henry. And that will be your first caution, 50 laps into this race. Matthew, this is no up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Matthew, good pit stop. You still retain the lead. You had a really good run there. You started to lose a little bit of time to Douglas Henry on the back end. Are you going to change up anything with your run, or is everything still going as planned?
Honestly, I felt pretty good with that run. I feel like I got the jump a little bit with the conditions change. There's a little bit more grip due to the nightfall. Kind of just ran away with it, and they started to get me there at the end. I had a little bit of trouble getting around a few of the lap cars that didn't really want to get out of the way, taking up the whole track by themselves. But, you know, this Jeff Collin Baby Big Money Mobile is super, super fast. As long as we can manage our tires, I think we can stay ahead of Douglas Henry. Like I said, we changed up our line there with a few laps to go and kind of evened out. But he's fast, and Jameek is also pretty fast. So if I make a slip, I'm sure they'll be there to capitalize.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Matthew.
Thank you.
We'll send him back down. I think we got to just go ahead and grab Douglas Henry. I think that's the only thing that makes sense now. Douglas, this is no up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, we saw you start to run down Matthew just a little bit. Tell us the speed in that car. Are you trying to play for that long run here? And how do you feel overall in terms of grabbing this win early at Iowa?
Well, we all know Matt likes to be in the lead as long as he can, so he's burning his tires up. So hopefully we get another long green flag here and I can reel him in. Had him on the line there for a minute, but caution came out.
Alrighty, Douglas. Well, you got one win last season there at Dover. It's back on the schedule, as well as with Bristol and Martinsville. Do you feel pretty confident at these short tracks?
Yeah, especially with all of Aaron's hosted practice he's put up. I think I put about 400 laps of practice in at this track over the week.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, Douglas.
Thanks.
We'll send him back down. So very confident press. Yeah, we talked about Mr. Aaron Warren. Good guy Warren has been putting up lots of practice races leading up into the race. So we see a lot of these guys show up, and the return is always great. It's his decision when to go in the restart zone. Douglas Henry outside, Jameek Smith third, Daniel Honeycutt fourth. Matthew, green flag, and away they go. Gets a good jump. Daniel Honeycutt over the back bumper of Douglas Henry as they go off into turns 1 and 2. Matthew here with the lead. Jameek Smith now looking to the bottom of Douglas Henry, trying to steal away second. And we have a caution. I think Gary Smoke, Josiah Klodgo are around in the back of the field. Oh, and a little bit of kiss. I wonder, Samuel Lane could have been, I guess not, just a random incident report. We'll look back towards Gary. Doesn't look like a bunch of damage. They did kiss a little bit there. Josiah Klodgo was running right around 18th. We'll check the replay, see exactly what happened. So here's the restart. A couple of these guys in the back, laps down, just kind of fanned out, giving each other room. Oh, Charles Aigbeer gets into Josiah. Josiah gets into Gary, I think the 25 of Stephen Hamilton gets some kind of with the wall, and they come down the track and kiss. So Charles Aigbeer. That's going to be the second caution of the day brought out by him. And he's going to get into Josiah Smith in that corner. I'd like to talk to Jameek Smith, new guy in PAL, driving that 10 machine. I expect everybody to stay out. So we'll go ahead and bring him up into the booth. Jameek, this is Snow up in the booth. You got a copy?
I sure do.
Well, Jameek, this is your PAL debut. Kind of give us a little bit of background and where you came from and what you enjoy doing and how are you enjoying this race so far at Iowa?
Well, first I got recommended by a friend, Jacob, like, I don't know, 3 hours ago. So I just bought the track, did a couple of laps, and I haven't done much oval. And he was like, hey, it's like Kansas. And I like Kansas a lot. So I guess that's why I'm up here in the front.
Well, you're definitely putting on a great show there with just buying the track.
Yeah, beginner's luck, beginner's luck.
Well, you see you're running down here in the top 3, showing really good progression. Tell us about, are you trying to maintain tire wear on that car? Kind of how are those tires wearing off? Are you surprised at all with how tight Iowa can get?
Yeah, it gets pretty tight late into the run. I don't plan on saving. I want to get to the front. I want to fight it out. I want to make it a bloodbath. So.
All righty. Thank you so much, Jameek. Have a fun rest of the night.
All right, thanks.
Wants to have a bloodbath. Wants to have some fun. Well, that's awesome to hear. Jameek, welcome to PAL. Behind him is none other than Daniel Honeycutt, last season's winner here at Iowa. Let's try to dial him up. Daniel, this is no up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got a copy.
Well, you won this race last season. It was the second to last race of the season. Called your shot, said you would win it. We see you just outside the top 3. Does that 72 machine have the speed like you did the last time we were here?
Well, they done and gone and changed the track. They knew how fast I was, so they're like, well, we got to change something, keep him from doing that again. I don't know. Like, I feel pretty quick. Trying to that first run, just figure out where my tires could be, and learned a little bit of how I could save him a little bit better, and maybe keep up with Matthew, and maybe not let him get so big of a lead. But it's definitely kind of weird now, just a new repave. It reminds me of just Richmond, just a lot wider and a lot faster. So it's just a little bit of a learning curve, and hope to be there right there at the end.
All right, thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you.
So thank you to Matthew and Daniel for giving us that option. And we might need to take advantage of that if we get a nice long green flag run. But Matthew Heel rockets away here into first. We'll look back behind him, Douglas Henry, Jameek Smith. Again, Jameek looking down to the bottom of the 66. There's Douglas Henry there. On the outside, Daniel Honeycutt in fourth, trying to drive his way up into that battle. He's going to stall out a little bit. Here comes Jacob Alicia to capitalize. And as they come around the front stretch, a couple of cars 3 wide behind. I think that might have been Goodhart and Chadwick and one other car on the top side. Matthew Heel leads, but this time he's not pulling away. Jameek Smith rolls into second. Is Jameek Smith going for the lead now? Daniel Honeycutt down the track a little bit, had a rough exit. He will rejoin. Jameek Smith on the back bumper of Matthew. He might have given him, maybe not quite a little bit of a tag, but he's there, and then he gets into the wall. A little tight off of 4. And Douglas Henry, Jacob Alicia, your veterans here in PAL are going to pounce on the rookie. And now Jacob Alicia here, last week's winner, battling Douglas Henry for second. And Daniel Honeycutt enters the picture. Look at all these PAL favorites running 1, 2, 3, 4. Jameek, the rookie, they're holding on to fourth, trying not to drop into fifth. One heck of a battle, and now Douglas Henry is to the outside of Matthew Heel, and in my opinion, the preferred lane. What can Matthew Heel do? We know, like Douglas said, he likes to burn up them tires, try to stay out front. Can Douglas Henry make him pull that mistake? Am I just rolling the top, making Matthew work extra hard to get back into that lead? Jameek's going to settle in third, Honeycutt fourth, Alicia fifth. Look at Aiden Gould. He's there in sixth, and it's 6 cars underneath the blanket, 65 laps into this Iowa race. Douglas Henry on the top side, Matthew Heel low. Jameek now looking to the outside of Matthew Heel. Jameek Smith might have the advantage, but look at Daniel Honeycutt on the bottom, 3 wide for second. Douglas Henry likes to see that. He needs to just start pulling away. Matthew Heel in the middle. Jameek still on the high side, trying to get a good rotation out of that car. Matthew will fall back, and now it's just a battle between Honeycutt and Smith. Daniel Honeycutt on the bottom. I think Alicia might have just brushed the wall there in fourth. Here comes Honeycutt rolling the bottom. Douglas Henry didn't even get a chance to check out because now Douglas Henry is under threat of Daniel Honeycutt trying to go 2 for 1 here and just one set of corner. Here comes Daniel Honeycutt down the front stretch into turns 1 and 2. Can he make the pass? All over the bottom of the track, rolling through. They're even as they go down the backstretch. One hell of a battle here at Iowa. Honeycutt all the way down to the bottom. He's going to send it in. Can he exit completely clear? Yes, he will. Can Douglas Henry cross over? No, he can't. Douglas Henry does not have that run. And Daniel Honeycutt goes to the lead here at Iowa. Last season's winner looking to be the sweeper. Here comes Douglas Henry. Jameek Smith looking, he was inside. Jameek driving it in hard. He says, I don't really care about saving tires. I just want to run this race as hard as possible. And then we have a caution come out. Samuel Lang spun down. Gary Smoke just made contact. I don't know who else is involved. And we'll go ahead and immediately check the replay on Samuel Lang. Samuel Lang top. I believe that's Travis Boomhauer on the bottom. Travis sends it in. Oh, slides up the track. They both go sideways. Samuel keeps a hold of it and manages to stay clean. We saw Gary Smoke there make some contact. Hey, Jacob, this is Noah up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Noah. Good copy.
Well, Jacob, you guys were putting on one hell of a show there. About 5-6 cars underneath the blanket. Settle out here in fifth. Tell us about that run. Were you pushing it hard or just kind of seemed to be in the right spot there?
Well, getting up to where I was, I really had to push hard. I need to apologize to that set of tires. They're probably not done smoking yet. But just sticking with these guys here at the front is the safest place to be. We've got a long run ahead of us, and then probably another long run after that if we go green the rest of the way.
Well, Jacob, you won last week at Michigan. Tell us, how does the mentality shift as you go through these weeks, knowing you already have that win underneath your belt, leading the points? Do you think these guys race you a little bit differently? Do you give more opportunities to your teammates that are looking for a win? How does the mentality sit while you're in that cockpit?
Well, it's not going to change. That mentality is what got me that last win. It's going to be full pedal to the metal, and we're going to work together as a team if we need to, but down to that last lap, it's every man for himself.
All righty. Thank you so much, Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
So him back down. A word from the wise there from Mr. Alicia. Every man for himself when it is that last lap. Greg Joden in the chat. Yeah, I believe this is a car field record at 27. If you were here, Mr. Jodiet, it'd be 28th. Daniel Honeycutt, Rockets to the lead. Douglas Henry in second. Jameek Smith rolling that bottom. Does really good on these restarts in third. Matthew Heel looking to the outside there in fourth. Oh, big checkup. Jameek might have made contact with the wall. Oh, Matthew Heel inside. He's going to move the rookie. But a caution comes out at the very same time. Oh, we got a pile up on the backstretch. 4 cars involved. Samuel Lang might have caught some of it. Gary Smoke, Raymond Wimmer, Chris Warren. It is a pileup. I think Travis Boomhauer might have been involved. We'll have to look at the replay. What just happened? John Schoenbachler, excuse me. John Schoenbachler in the 33. Chris Warren behind. Oh, Chris just gets in the back of the 33, then also gets sideways. Boomhauer contact. Averett power drives. Oh, it's a pileup. Gary Smoke slid through the 33 somehow. So, oh, a little awkward there. I want to find, I guess, a better camera angle here. Here you go. Goodhart just barely misses. I think Boomhauer there makes contact. Here comes Mark Averett, slides in. Josiah Claudio off of Jacob Pettit. Actually, very close call. Raymond Wimmer, Gary Smoke, pair of teammates there for Rogue State Racing. I mean, that's such a heavy contact. Gary Smoke slid through the 33. That's not something you see every day. This is what happened to Josiah. So Jonathan Green is checking up. He gets into the back of Jonathan. I thought he might have came off of the 42. I don't know if Jacob really made contact, but you see Josiah clips. He's trying to save it, keep it off of the 33, wrecking sideways. He actually is going to collect a Ben Warren. Samuel Lang piles in. Some more wrecked race cars there. I wonder if the 25 of Stephen Hamilton, he just barely sneaks through. It's just unfortunate they are trying to save it, ends up getting back into traffic. Daniel Honeycutt in command. Douglas Henry to his outside. Jameek Smith. Jacob Alicia. Aiden Gould. Good jump for Daniel. And as they go into turns 1 and 2, Jameek Smith now on the high side. Jacob Alicia down low. They're going to settle out that way. Look at Joey Houston making his way into the top 5. He's passing Aiden Gould there for 5th. He's just going to barely squeeze back in line. I think Luke Chadwick might have brushed the wall a little bit there in 8th. Whoa, but we got a battle for the lead as Douglas Henry is going to get around Daniel Honeycutt. Daniel had a bad turn 3, turn 4, and I guess entrance into turn 1 because that's where Douglas made the pass. And now Jacob Alicia looking for some breathing room. And Jameek, he's trying to battle back on that high side as they go down the front stretch. Douglas Henry back to the lead. There's Daniel Honeycutt, Jacob Alicia, Jameek Smith. Oh, Aiden Gould gets into the corner of Jacob Alicia. Does he hang on to it? Yes, he does. The field spreads out, and they somehow are able to hang on to it. Jacob Alicia saves it, but he falls back to right around 14th. We got to look back towards the front because Daniel Honeycutt reaggressing here for the lead. And he might just get around Douglas Henry as they go down the backstretch. Into turns 3 and 4. What a hectic couple of laps. And Daniel Honeycutt's going to return to the lead. And hopefully we settle out. But Douglas Henry, he's already looking for the crossover. Can you guys believe we still have just a slight over 100 laps to go? This race is heating up and it has not cooled down. Still smoking, as Jacob Alicia says. Talking about those tires, I'm talking about this race. Daniel Honeycutt holds on to the lead. Douglas Henry second. Jameek Smith still running Douglas down. He's in third right now, and he's gained just about a tenth and a half. Joe Houston in fourth. Luke Chadwick making his way into fifth, and now is challenging Joe Houston there. Great run at a Luke. He found some speed. Oh, Joe Houston. First car to enter pit road. We'll keep an eye on that. I saw him drop positions. I thought maybe he had an accident, but appears not. Joe Houston in pits. We'll see if anybody else follows. Aaron Warren on pit road. I think Luke Chadwick drove off the track to enter as well. I think John Schoenbachler, he's going to roll down pit road. Remember, he does have damage, though. Was involved in that accident, but was still running top 10. Somehow Gary Smoke slid through his car on that wreck. How long will some of these guys... Oh, look at them lock it down. All three. There's Jameek and both Jacobs lock it down. Enter pit road. That was beautiful. Synchronized. Pettit, Alicia, Jameek Smith. All starting their pit stops. There's Douglas Henry. Still staying out. Daniel Honeycutt enters pit road. So Douglas Henry now goes to the lead. Matthew Heel also pit a couple of laps shy of the rest of these guys. And by a couple, right around 4 to 5. So he's kind of put himself back in the cycle. But those tires, like we said, 5-lap-old tires can make a little bit of a difference. You know, we'll see in terms of long run, but like Douglas said, Matthew loves to have that lead, and he'll burn some extra rubber to do so, as Daniel Honeycutt got a little bit sideways there on those cold tires. Matthew Heel is your relative leader. Jonathan Green has yet to pit. There he is in turn 3. Turn 4, still staying out. He's going to get that extra point for leading a lap. Really good drivers. This time, Matthew Heel choosing the bottom line. He's going to leave the top open. I think Daniel Honeycutt might rotate into the lead. This time, Daniel Honeycutt gets into the wall. But if he doesn't, I think he gets to the outside of Matthew. Matthew needs to stay a little bit higher here. Try to defend. Lock down. Diamond that corner. And Honeycutt has to wait another lap or two to be able to reset and re-attack. But Matthew is still trying to roll the bottom in 3 and 4. He's slower than Honeycutt there. He needs to realize that he's not finding himself speed. He needs to run a little bit higher. Similar to the line he takes in 1 and 2. Try to defend. Honeycutt just has so much sheer speed right now. Ethan Walker sideways in that car. He's going to hang on to it. Meanwhile, Daniel Honeycutt now to the inside of Matthew Heel. Daniel Honeycutt just quicker than the 53 here at Iowa. He is going to make the pass. That is for the relative lead. Matthew Heel crossover back to the bottom. Meanwhile, guys, Jonathan Green is still yet to pit. Matthew cannot make the crossover. Hard to roll that center there. Rolling that bottom line. Daniel Honeycutt goes to the lead. Back at it, Iowa. Jonathan Green still yet to pit.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Whoa, yellow flag gonna pile up right in front of the leaders. What just happened? Who was that around? I think it might have been Chris Worrell. He's on pit road, and Luke Chadwick may be involved. Big right front damage for Luke Chadwick. We'll have to check the replay. Luke Chadwick, followed by Chris Worrell. Chris down to the bottom. Remember, Chris has newer tires. Oh, 25 of, I believe, Stephen Hamilton. Oh, I mean, big right hook there. Let's watch that again. Stephen Hamilton and Luke Chadwick make contact. Luke just wasn't ready for the 25 to be that low. 25 off the corner, catches Luke. Luke sideways, catches Chris Worrell. And into the outside wall he goes. You can hear it blows the engine in the 6 car. That's the end of Chris Worrell's day. Truck should it pull off here, does it? Oh my gosh, it will. We're about to go green and let those lap cars get around really late. Daniel Honeycutt in command. He's going to go ahead and get a good launch, and let's keep an eye on Matthew Heel. Look at Joe Houston there in 3rd, Douglas Henry in 4th. This is a run where he should have some speed. Matthew Heel to that high side. Daniel Honeycutt leading. Can Matthew get alongside the 72 and make the pass? Alrighty, both those cars floating towards the top. Matthew Heel, big drive low. Both those cars a little bit sideways. A little cold tires. Joe Houston out to the backside of Matthew Heel. Lap 166 in the books. And it is going to be, like we said, a little intermediate run. So potentially some tire saving out of Douglas Henry or Jacob Alicia could be what wins the race. But you don't want to let Daniel Honeycutt get out too early, because when you let Honeycutt get a big lead, it's really difficult to reel him in. He goes into tire save mode and he holds it there. This time Joe Houston now looking to the inside of Matthew Heel. This is the battle for 2nd. Doubt door to door. He is going to make that low line work. Can he clear him? Down the back straight, going into turns 3 and 4. He needs to make this pass quick if he wants to run down Honeycutt. But I don't know if Joe Houston has that mid-range speed. We have seen him get some longer run speed a little bit and maintain position. But now that he's up on that high line, can he defend the 53 and drive up to the 72? Because Daniel Honeycutt already has 8/10 of gap of a lead there. And Matthew Heel is battling Joe right now. This is the battle for 2nd still. Matthew Heel back over to the bottom. Can he run up in front of the 3 and make it stick? Yes, he will. And now the gap to Daniel Honeycutt begins to be extended. Just about 8/10 now, dropped a little bit. Like I said, you don't want Honeycutt to get that much of a lead, especially at a track like Iowa. Joe Houston getting a really good run on the 53. He's going to make the pass soon, looking to the inside. He might be able to roll through the bottom. He is going to clear Matthew Heel. Joe Houston, 9 laps to go, moves into the 2nd position, but is nearly a 2-second gap to Honeycutt. Even if Houston has the speed, does he even have the time? Honeycutt, white flag, 1 more lap to go. And as he heads down the backstretch for the final time, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when it comes to that Honeycutt finding victory lane. My pick to win the championship. Daniel Honeycutt is going to sweep the CornHub 188s from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. It doesn't matter. Honeycutt finds a way to win. Daniel, we're loving the burning rubber you're making down there with the smoke flying. Tell us, buddy, how does it feel to win here at Iowa for the 2nd time in your career?
Oh, it feels great. I love this track now. I didn't know how I liked it at first, but I don't know. It kind of grew on me as the run went on, and I like the multi-groove racetrack, and reminds me of a massive Richmond with a little bit of Auto Club, riding that wall, and all those good things. So, I don't know. Felt pretty good.
Well, you got to feel really good. That's going to help you in the points. You're going to shoot up that scoreboard. One heck of an effort out of you. Class of the field once again. Don't tell anybody else I said this, but you are my pick for the championship this year.
I think you've announced that a couple of times.
Oh, okay. My bad. Congratulations, Daniel.
Thank you.
We'll send Daniel back down, and we'll go ahead and pull in your 2nd place finisher, Mr. Joe Houston. Hey, Joe. Noah up at the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Noah. How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. How's it going for you, man? You've come home with another top 3. You've been really dominant at every track in terms of just getting great finishes, whether it's a Next Era or PALracing. This time you're on the right side of the pit cycle. Bring it home in 2nd. Great pass on Matthew Heel. Tell us about how the run went for you today.
Yeah, it was a really fun race. It started kind of mid-pack. I never get a ton of practice, so couldn't be too upset with that. And then pretty much just moving up through the field 1 step at a time, and was able to, it was a good battle with Matthew. He put me on the wall barely at one point, and so I raced him a little tighter than I may otherwise. But yeah, it was fun, good racing, everything clean with him, and then just needed one more spot, but can't be upset with 2nd. We'll take it.
All righty. Congratulations, Joe. Have a good night, man. We'll see you next week.
All right, peace.
Send Joe back down. We'll go ahead and talk to the man that had a little bit of a run-in with him, but it is all good. Matthew Heel famously parked backwards in his pit box. Let's go ahead and talk to the Magic Man. Matthew, Noah up in the booth. You got a copy.
Hello again, Noah.
Well, Matthew, you bring it home third. A lot of top threes for you so far in your career, but consistency is going to win you that championship. Tell us about how the 53 machine worked with you today.
Those top threes feels like a musical, man. Just exactly what I've been doing just the whole time. Man, I really thought tonight was going to be my night. We had a really stellar car. Unfortunately, on that second run, we just got put in the wall, and we had some right side damage that we can never repair throughout the race. We were just trying to claw to get back there. Hated for Quest Royale getting dumped there to bring out that last caution. That was a bit, hated for him. He had a really good car. It was fun watching him slice up through the field. Fun racing all around. Feel a little bit bad that I got into Joe, but I guess it worked out. We still finished P2 and P3. That's how you do it right and respectfully, and you both still finish on the lead lap. We'll get him next week, honestly. Like I said, the Chef Colin maybe Mobile was super fast. He's a good follow on Facebook. Actually heading to Daytona this week, so if you guys want to see some behind the scenes action footage of the Truck Series and Xfinity Garage, give him a follow on Facebook. And hopefully we can get him a W next week, because it's been a minute and we are getting hungry and hungry every week.
Well, next week, I do believe we roll into what will be Charlotte, and you already have a DeBaby Car 225 underneath your belt. You looking to go and sweep that as well?
Ooh, yes, sir. Charlotte's one of my favorite tracks. So I guess we'll see. I don't want to say anything too early and then get taken out on lap 5, but I'm strong there.
All righty. Thank you so much, Matthew.
Thank you.
We'll send Matthew back down, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for tuning in for this special edition of Player Advancement League. That's the second race of the season at CornHub 188 Iowa Speedway. Daniel Honeycutt, your winner. Join us next week, same time, same place, Charlotte. It's the DeBaby Car 225, the first of our 3 crown jewel events, and potentially maybe we'll see a triple crown winner. Join these guys next. That will be August 27th. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I've been Noah, Cowboy Noah Longyear, and this field is very damn happy that I am in this my own league, man. They don't want to see me win.